Hey guys, thank you for tuning in today. This is our second Wednesday night online service. We're so excited that you guys get to join us for this. We have a special one coming at you tonight. One of our leaders here, Jordan Norris, him and his wife, Kayla, work in the junior high ministry as well as in the men's ministry. Jordan works in there, and he's got an awesome word prepared for you today. I'm so excited for him to get to share this. It's so awesome to kind of get many people coming at us with different perspectives and different things that they're going through in this time and have went through that really they can share the way that God has impacted and spoke to their heart. You know, I think it's so awesome because a lot of times we think it's from our mountain moments that we can help minister for the Lord, but really that's not what it is. The Word says that it's at our weakest that He's the strongest, right? And so it's so cool because I know for myself and I know for many of my friends and other leaders here in the church that it's often the times that we need the Lord the most, that He shows up in a way that we can now share His goodness and share His love and share the way He showed up for us to others. And I believe that I know Jordan's heart to just continue to use his life, just the way he is, to come before you and share what the Lord has done for him and through him and allow him to really bless your life. And so I know that this is going to minister to you, so I encourage you to just open up your heart right now, tune in for what he's got to share, and just let the Lord just lift your load in this moment and really bring peace to even a difficult situation, because God is faithful and God is good and He's with you in this situation. Enjoy this message, and we'll join you there at the end for a little bit more information. Thanks, guys.
Hey guys, I'm Jordan, coming to you from Harvest Church, and this month we're throwing out messages for you guys every Wednesday, and we're going to talk about the different ministries that we had going on before all this stuff happened, and just kind of overview and then give you a little message after. So my wife and I run the junior high ministry, and so what we do is every Wednesday we just kind of meet and we hang out. We just talk to the kids a lot about their problems going on and stuff like that, and then we give them verses, and we talk about just, we try to relate the Bible stuff of what they have going on in their life. And it's crazy to see what the kids talk about and what comes up. I mean, we've had so many things come up where they have it's crazy to see these young kids and how much, hard stuff they have going on in their lives now. And it's, in some ways, it's a lot harder than when I was kids even, because you got this whole social media element into everything. So it's really cool that they just come and they open up to you and talk about their stuff, and then, we try to help them along and guide them in the right way. And, we gave them, a couple weeks ago, we gave them Bibles, and I asked them to go out and give them to someone who didn't know God. And one of them went out and gave it to the person, and then on top of that, she wanted to go, get a bunch of Bibles and go up to the school and just have a day where she hands them out and talks to everyone in school that she can and hands them out and talks to them about God. And she's in 7th grade. So for someone so young to want to do this and have a heart for God that way is just amazing. And we have some other really just amazing kids that come. So once everything gets under wraps, and we can go out again, I just encourage you all ages, 4th through 8th grade, to just come out here on a Wednesday night at 5 o'clock, because it's amazing. So now a little message to go, with everything going on. So I'm pretty sure everyone knows about this virus and everything going on and how hard it is right now. I mean, you can't go in public, you can't go and do stuff. You can't even, a lot of people are stuck up here, they can't even see their families, because their families are down in the cities or, different states, and it's Easter coming up this weekend and they can't see them. So it's really hard going in these times. And then, the world's kind of crazy right now, too. I mean, you go to Walmart, you can't even buy toilet paper. Stuff is just getting nuts. But with this hard times and with everything going on, because not only do we have these things going on, we have our normal stuff going on, the everyday things that hit us in life. And my wife at the group home right now that's here is just, they have to do everything that they have to do, which is a ton of stuff, on top of making sure they follow all the guidelines with this stuff. It's just insane. And then, you have the stresses at home and all the other stuff happening, and you don't have that benefit of going to your family and leaning on them. You don't have the benefit of going out and doing something to blow off some steam. You're just kind of stuck there and stuck dealing with your problems all the time. And during these times like this, we have to learn that we have to lean on God with it. There's nothing else, and nothing's going to get us by without leaning on God. And I know there's a lot of people out there like talking about how it's the end of the world and, the rapture is coming and stuff, but I promise, guys, it's not. If you just lean on God and trust in him, you're going to get through this. And it's really hard. I gave a sermon probably 6-7 months ago about becoming unbreakable, like in trusting in God, and how if you trust in him and lean on him the right ways, nothing can stop you, nothing can tear you down. And I feel like that applies right now. We have to trust on him so we don't get torn down with all the stuff happening. And it's hard, though. Like, I thought I was at that point. I thought I was, I love God enough, and I trusted in God enough, and I was doing all the right things, so nothing was going to break me. Nothing could tear me down. And then my Uncle Rick got sick. And I was devastated. It just brought me down to a whole new level. He got diagnosed with esophageal cancer, and then it wrecked me at first. It wrecked me, but then I was like, oh, it's fine. It's fine. God has healed things in my life. I've seen him heal other people. All we got to do is pray. We're going to pray, and the cancer's going to go away. That's all we have to do. And then we had a friend of mine. He came and did a, kind of a guest speaker here on healing, is Vinny, and my Uncle Rick waited. He went through line to get, prayed over and get healed, and he goes through and nothing happened, and then I waited till the end to come up, and I'm getting prayed over, and then, Ryder knows all the stuff that's happening in my, with my brain injury and stuff, and all the injuries I have and what goes with that, but I was up there to get prayed for to have my seizures go away, and it just slipped his head. He was focusing on praying for me about the seizures and stuff instead of the other ailments that I have, and I was blind in my left eye. And all of a sudden, Ryder just sees a light in his left eye, and then he prays over my eye, and I can see right now. I'm not blind in my left eye anymore. And I was pumped at first. I was so ecstatic. Like, the fact that I could see out of my eye again was just unreal to me. But later, I got home, and it hit me like God just healed my eye, but didn't heal my uncle's cancer. I would have gave both my eyes up in order to have him, have God heal the cancer. And that was the point where I think it broke me. I broke, and it took me away from God. I turned away from God. It didn't take me away, but I turned away, and I turned away from the church. I kind of slacked off in everything because I didn't lean on God through this hard time. Psalm 13 says, Lord, how long will you forget me? Forever? How long will you hide your face from me? How long will I store up anxious concerns within me, agony in my mind every day? How long will my enemy dominate me? Consider me and answer, Lord my God. Restore brightness to my eyes, otherwise I will sleep in death. My enemy will say, I have triumphed over him, and my foes will rejoice because I am shaken. But I have trusted in your faithful love. My heart will rejoice in your deliverance. I will sing to the Lord because he has treated me generously. And the reason I picked that verse is because at the beginning, David is basically whining. He's whining out to God and, crying out to him because all this stuff is happening to him. But then towards the end, he just trusts in God, and he knows that God's going to deliver him. He talks about how he's feeling, but in the end, he leaned on God. It didn't break him. It came up, and he conquered it by leaning on God. And in this situation with my uncle, I didn't do that. I didn't lean on God. I went from feeling like nothing could ever break me or bring me down again to just being a broken glass. There wasn't much left in my faith at all after that. Obviously I knew God was real and I knew he could heal. He healed me, and he's done so many other things in my life. I never doubted his existence. I just didn't understand why he would heal an eye but not heal my uncle's cancer. But now looking back and looking at how my uncle lived his life during that time, when he got cancer, he was the strong one. He was there for all of us. He was there with a smile every single day. He'd come to church early and bring water to the worship team. every morning with a smile on his face, no matter how much pain he was in or how sick he was here every single day. He was getting his family to come to church. And he trusted in God every day. I remember every time we prayed for him, at the end, we would just tell him, if you believe, it's going to happen. And he'd sit there, he'd smile at you, shake his head yes, and say, yeah, I know. God's got me. And when you see someone slowly deteriorate like that, and still, in so much pain, in agony, and someone who held his family together at a time where he probably felt the lowest he ever did. But he trusted in God, and God gave him strength enough to be the foundation and the rock that all of us needed in that situation. It should have been our job to make sure he was okay during this time. But instead, he made sure we were all okay. Instead, he led us by example. And it took me a while to realize this, but just in the situation he was in, to have that much faith in God, to know, to get a death sentence and know you don't have much time left on this earth, I would have gone nuts. I would have been angry. I would have done probably some really just dumb stuff. I would have been mad. I would have freaked out on people. But instead, my uncle only showed love to everyone. He held our family together and was a rock that we needed. And at the time still, it hit me, how can he do all of this for God and God still not heal him? How can we pray over him time and time and time again and trusting God, and yet he slowly died? It was, if anyone's had someone die of cancer, it is a rough thing to watch, and how slow and how weak and how, they aren't even themselves anymore. But his faith and his strength throughout that time, has shown me the kind of man and the kind of person and the kind of child of God that all of us need to be in hard times. And especially in times like these, because we have people who have cancer and are dying in our families, or we have people who get into car accidents. We have all this stuff still happening. And on top of that, we have the crazy stuff happening in the world. And the only way we are going to get through this, the only way that it isn't going to break us, is to lean on God and to trust in him, because he has you. And you might not get the answer you want at the time. My uncle didn't get healed when we prayed. But I still think that the reason behind it was the fact that he showed us in those situations how strong you can be. And imagine that you get told that your life is going to end soon. You get told that you only have a certain amount of time. He's losing everything. So in a time that he is losing everything, for him to have faith and him to show love to God like that, that's why he was taken away. To show us that even though he was going to lose everything, I lost an uncle, but he lost nephews, nieces, daughters, sons, a wife, a grandchild. He lost all of those things. He won't be able to have those memories with us anymore, until we return home with him. But for the fact that he knew he was going to lose all these things, and he still stayed strong, and stayed strong in his faith. That is what God showed us in the moment. He took his weakest moment and made it the strongest moment. And that's what he can do with all of us when we go through these times, if we just lean on him and trust in him. He will take everything bad and turn it for the good. And you might not see it right now, or even months after this stuff happens, but I promise you, you will see the good that comes out of these situations. So just keep your faith and lean on God, and I promise everything's going to be okay.
Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you were blessed by that message. I know that I was. Man, the Lord is so good, and it's so crazy to hear a story like that in a situation like that. And honestly, I knew Rick personally, and to see really, I can affirm that he walked through that situation exactly the way Jordan described him to walk through that situation. And it's been, even though it was such a hard time, it's been such a testimony to us. And so I encourage you, some of us may not realize that when it gets hard or when things are going difficult, really what God's placed inside of us. And I know that even goes back to what Pastor Jay preached on Sunday. So thank you guys for jumping on. We hope this was a blessing to you. We'll have more of these coming at you every Wednesday night. And please remember to join us for our Sunday morning Easter service. We hope it's a good time for you and that it reaches you and your family and that you guys are blessed by it. And we pray that even the rest of this week that you just experience the peace and the presence of God in your life, in your homes, and in all your situations. Thank you guys. Have a great week.
And you lay down your life.